Now I have my weaving part just about finished. You see that I have a 3-straw loom. You could do more straws if you wanted to. You could do 7, 8, 10 straws if you needed to. And you also see that I used a color changing yarn, a variegated yarn, so that it comes out in these beautiful stripes. Now I'm going to go ahead and, since I have about, let's say, 3-4 inches of yarn left, I'm going to loop it around one of these straws right here. You see that loop right there? I'll pull it out a little bit more so you can see it. There you go. Now I'm going to tie a knot through there. I'm just going to take this end. I'm going to put it through that loop twice. Once and then twice. Whatever knot really works, as long as it's tied around that straw. Go ahead and pull it tight. You can tie that again. You can double knot it. Whatever you want to do. So I'll go ahead and trim it. Not right next to the knot. Just near it. Because if you do it right next to that knot, the knot will come apart. And that knot right there is the same knot that I did to begin this long thread here. So the next thing I want to do is I want to take off my tape that's at the top here near my top knot right here. It's also called the name tape. I want to take that off. Now, right now it'll stay together. Here's where you have to be very cautious. You're going to start taking these 3 end tapes off. Now sometimes the tape can be a little hard to get off. You want to make sure as you're doing this though, you just definitely want to make sure that these threads do not go right back up into the straws. So as I take off this tape here, okay, now that you see I have those end tapes taken off there, you just want to again make sure that they don't go back up into the straws too early. Now I'm going to start pushing this towards this knot right here, that knot that we tied earlier. You could do this in sections. It's a little easier sometimes to do that. Now, you'll probably need a partner. I suggest if you're in my class that you definitely use a partner. That's a rule, to hold on to these ends while you're pushing it towards this knot. That's a huge, huge help there, because here's what I commonly see. Someone will lose their grip on these 3 strings right here as they're pushing it off, and all of a sudden those strings go right back up in the straws, and then it could ruin your project. So as your partner is holding these 3 strings here, you're going to push it towards that knot. Now it's going to get to a point where the person holding this, if it's you or a partner, can't really hold on to this anymore as you're pushing this direction. As long as there's a big space here, you'll be fine. So now I'll go ahead and pull it off. See how it just comes off in sections there? The big thing is you don't want this yarn to start getting back up into your weaving. I'll show a close-up right there. You don't want it getting right up in here, because then it'll start unraveling. So now I'll go ahead and I'll show you a trick too. If it starts getting close, you can kind of crunch it with your fingers in the straw there. There you go. And pull the rest of your weaving off. And don't worry if it looks like that. You can put it back together here in just a second. Go ahead and pull this off in sections. There we go. Just like this. You got to be very careful when you do this. There we go. I'm going to pull it off the straws. Now you see this one got really close to starting going up inside the weaving, so you got to be very cautious. So I'll hold on to those. I'll kind of even out my weaving here. See, I got a little gap there. I'll just push these back together. There we go. Kind of even it out there, smooth it out. And there's my weaving. Next, I'm going to go ahead and take these knots that I tied earlier. I'll tighten those up. That little knot right there. This little knot right up here. It's a good habit to go ahead and check your knots. Make sure they're all nice and tight. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to twist this knot and make a knot just like I did up there with the yellow. So I twist it into one. Then I make a loop. See that little loop right there? Then I just take the ends and I put it through that loop, like so. Really, any knot will work. That's just one way of doing it. There we go. Now when I tie that knot, I want that knot to be close to my weaving. I don't want it to be like way out here or way out here. You can trim these if you like to, and then you have your finished weaving.